Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm guessing you're all here in order to hear about things that LLMs can't teach you about LLMs. So, spoiler alert, the only thing that LLMs can't teach you about LLMs is the way that people are using LLMs and the things that people are currently inventing by using LLMs. So, in 20 minutes from now, you'll know how to make your engineering organization use LLMs in a way that matches your needs. You've probably already used it either to write a fancy email or in order to refine a paragraph or text or even write some code. So let's see how engineering managers can exploit LLMs to make their team or company ride into the future. Like a group of unicorns riding into the rainbow. So trust me, you do not want to be left behind. Or you'll be stuck with results like this one. So, also in 20 minutes from now, I'll ask you which one of these women are machine generated and which one of them is holding the most fascinating job in AI. So we'll get back to this question at the end of the talk, so don't forget. Okay, so let's start with the Big Bang, or how did this whole AI and LLM shenanigan begin? So on November 2022, ChatGPT went live. You probably all remember this. So OpenAI is the company that released it, and it was founded in 2015, among others, by Elon Musk. And Microsoft invented $10 billion in the company in 2019 and in 21, and it's considered to be a partner of OpenAI. So they named it OpenAI because it was meant to be open source, and the company is privately owned, so it is unknown who holds it exactly. And also, by the way, the bang on the left was generated by AI, by DALL-E, and the one on the right was taken from Shutterstock. So my name is Nir Orman, and I manage R&D teams at Wix. I've been mastering software for over a decade, and I love mixing it up with management of people and building teams. My love story with AI started in 2017 when I worked at the predictors team, along with the chief data scientist of the company. So I felt this whole AI magic is just too mysterious, and I took a 6-month course about deep learning until I understood there is no such thing as magic. It's just linear algebra put into good use. So in the next years, I worked at a startup that's researching deep learning and computer vision, and took an algorithmic library, and it was written in Keras and TensorFlow and made it into a product in production in a completely scalable manner. So I also took the Stanford AI course in Israel, hosted by Google. And my current role at Wix, one of the things that I'm most proud of is that my team built the very first product recommendations app using AI, which is now live in production. So I'm a true believer that whatever machines can do for us, they should, and eventually they will. So there's no better time to learn it than now. So just to make sure that I don't lose the ones who are completely new to this field, we're going to start with 2 basic terms. So the first term is LLM. And no, it's not master of laws. LLM is a type of neural network that is good at processing and generating human language. So the large refers to both the size and the complexity of the neural network itself, as well as the size of the data set that it was trained on. The second term we're going to talk about is GPT, and you've probably heard it a lot, but do you know the initials of it? So GPT is Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So generative means it can generate text. Given a prompt line, it answers back with the generated text. Pre-trained means that it has a huge amount of data, a lot of data, and a lot of parameters that it was trained on, and before you give it the prompt. And transformer is actually a type of a neural network that is the architecture underlying most of today's generative language models. So the architecture is able to scale effectively so that researchers can train these models on massive data sets. Let's talk a little bit about the roadmap, the history. So previously on OpenAI, in 2018, they released GPT-1. The model was trained on a combination of two datasets. The first one is the Common Crawl, which is just a massive data set of web pages with billions of words. The second one was Book Corpus dataset, which was it's a collection of over 11,000 books on a variety of genres. So then GPT-2 was trained on Common Crawl, Book Corpus, and web text. GPT-3 was trained on 570 gigabytes of data from the internet, books, web texts, Wikipedia articles that receives up to 3,125 words as an input, which is like 6 to 7 pages that are printed. GPT-4 trained on Common Crawl, refined web, and receives up to 25,000 words as an input. That's like 4 books. That's insane. So if you're anything like me, it's hard to grasp the growth of these numbers. So you need it to be plotted on a graph. So here you go. We see it's really escalating quickly. So do we only have GPTs? Is it just GPTs? Well, the answer is no. There are plenty of other models out there. And let's just see three main ones that were trained somewhere between GPT-3 and GPT-4. So DALL-E, Midjourney, and Stable Diffusion, these they are the AI image generator models. So the image on the left is the first AI magazine cover on the Cosmopolitan. The image on the middle was created by Midjourney, and it went viral, as you can guess. And the image on the right was created by a model named Stable Diffusion. Okay, so now that we all know the basic terms and a little bit about the history of AI, what are the latest trends? Let's see what you have to do, okay? How do you use it? So you have to do something about this big buzz. What's your action plan? You don't have one yet. Okay, so let me help you out by telling you a story about you. So you're an engineering manager. Let's imagine your name is Art Intel. But everyone calls you A. So you want to make sure that the people in your company ride into the future on a unicorn. The more people that are in the loop, the faster the company will move towards the happy future of AI. So you need to email everyone. What do? You open your Gmail, but then you stop and head over to ChatGPT instead to write down the following prompt. Write an email to the whole company to brainstorm together about AI. So ChatGPT helps you and you send out the email. Fast forward a few days, you're in the brainstorm meeting with the whole the smart people from your company. And people are coming in with some great ideas. But wait, who's taking notes? Not you. You have an LLM that's trained to take meeting notes. So you don't have to take notes, you just have to listen. So don't worry. You'll get the meeting summary to your email once the meeting is over. So your manager walks in and she's asking you if you figured out how AI will impact our business. You open the meeting notes and you notice that one of the ideas is to have an AI hackathon. That sounds like fun. Plus, it's a known fact that hackathons help bring people together and bring innovation into the company. Cool. So all you have to do is just come up with a good name for the hackathon. Great, you have an awesome name for the hackathon, and now you need some marketing materials like a slogan, or maybe you need some posters. So which tool would you use for that? You can use Stable Diffusion or Midjourney or DALL-E. Well done, great name, great slogan, great posters. Now you need a website for your hackathon. Well, I might be bright, but you really better use Wix for that. So the hackathon is such a great idea. There's a saying that says that the best way to predict the future is to invent it. Alan Kay said that. So, okay, let's understand something really important. AI is limited only by our own creativity and imagination. So the more people you bring in from your company to take part in ideation and suggest the product directions, the better. So take a day for ideation, and not just hackathon winners will win. The whole company wins. And don't forget, hackathons are for everyone. It's not just for programmers. Every demo could potentially become the part of the product in the future, which is the most successful one. And it makes a huge difference. So the best ideas often come from unexpected places. Remember that. Perfect. So now you're starting to build your hackathon team. Okay. Just imagine yourself sitting down with your colleague, the product manager. Right? So you're working together on your hackathon winning project. What? Who said an engineering manager and a product manager are by default two young white males? Let's see. Maybe there's something wrong with my prompt. What did I write down? I wrote down a product manager and a software engineering manager working together. That sounds legit. Okay. Lesson number 1, when you're using generative AI, you have to be super conscious to biases. The models have been trained on data from the past, and we want them for the future, innovations. Writing supposedly neutral prompts will give you old school results. Okay, so let's try to change the prompt a little bit. I'll go with a female product manager and a female software engineering manager working together. Okay, this looks much better, right? So you're telling the product manager about a cool idea that you have in mind and that you want to develop in the hackathon. Stop! Now what? What happened? Can you spot? Lesson number 2. Image generative models are not great with hands yet. So remember, when you're trying to tell a real image from a generated image, notice the hands. Okay, moving on. So your genius product manager friend used ChatGPT to give you the perfect description for product requirements. Great. Can we start writing the code already? Isn't that your favorite part? So you're opening your favorite IDE and starting a project, but then comes in your tech lead and says that you really, if you really want to win this hackathon, you shouldn't be writing code. You should be writing prompts. So prompts are the next evolution in dev language. As you can see here, we had binary code, then we transitioned into a bunch of other languages like C, and then Java, and then Python, and JavaScript, and now what we're doing is actually generating prompts. So after your tech lead explains that prompts are the next evolution in dev language, you ask, what are prompts? Prompts will soon be like any other programming language. So if you're going to write prompts, you're going to need a tool to do that. So let's choose your weapon. So to name a few industry-leading tools, we have Small Developer, GitHub Copilot, OpenAI Codex, Amazon Code Whisperer, ChatGPT, and Tab9. Codex is the model that powers GitHub Copilot that was built and launched in partnership with GitHub. So it is proficient in more than a dozen programming languages. Codex can now interpret simple commands in natural language and execute them on the user's behalf, so making it possible to build natural language interfaces to existing applications. So the Codex model is like a descendant of OpenAI GPT-3 series, and it's been trained on both natural language, but also billions of lines of code. It's mostly capable in Python, but also JavaScript, Go, Perl, PHP, Ruby, Swift, TypeScript, and SQL, and even Shell. So how do you use it? You can use it to turn comments into code, complete your next line or function in context, find useful libraries or API calls, add comments, and even rewrite code for efficiency. So GitHub Copilot is basically your AI pair programmer. It uses OpenAI Codex to suggest code and entire functions in real time, right from your editor, okay? You're typing it and it completes your line. So it's fast enough to use as you type. So, and believe me, once you use it, you'll never write code again without it. It can even help you code if you want in unfamiliar languages. So, okay, back to you. You are the engineering manager. You listened to the tech lead and installed GitHub Copilot on your IDE so you could write code faster and get auto-completion for your code. And the second thing is that you write the prompt to ChatGPT to write the whole code for you. So that makes everything so much faster. And it's been a few seconds. So I guess your hackathon project is ready. And your demo is going to rock. You created a new product, something that has to do with AI in it, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be winning the hackathon. And fast forward a few hours, they're announcing the winners. And you won the hackathon. Wow, well done. Everybody wants to use your feature. The company wants to deliver it all the way to its customers, to all of the users. Congrats. You're the smart person. You understand all these AI companies are looking to get rich, and their products are not so open source, nor are they free. They charge money per token. What does that mean? Who's going to pay for that? Plus, what about security? What about hallucinations? There are a lot of risks to the project, and taking AI and making it go all the way to your users in production is going to be a little bit risky. So, as Dorothy said, Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Let's talk a little bit about the risks and the mitigations going with AI to production. It's not a simple task. So here are a few things to consider. First number is costs, okay? So you let the user input whatever they want, and you send it to GPT and get the response back. So you could be finishing your quota pretty quickly and be exploited by users. For example, if you're letting them generate a product description, but what they're really doing is just using it for random questions to GPT. So what can I do about it? So first of all, I can set up hard and soft limits for the billing of my OpenAI account to prevent unexpected charges. Second thing I can do is monitor and manage the token usage and actually monitor the associated costs. And third is I can always regularly check my OpenAI API. That's if you're not in a huge scale yet, so you can still do that manually. And for internal products, if you're just letting your developers use GPT, then you can actually show them a little number that says how many tokens they were using up so far. And so once people understand how much money they've spent, it's easier for them to also take that into consideration. Second thing is security. Let's talk about that. So the risk here is that users can try to get details about your company's data by querying your AI chatbot that was trained on internal data. So don't reveal passwords and secrets with the model. You can also try, I really recommend this, Lakera AI Gandalf, which is a cool challenge that increases awareness to security and data leaks from the model you trained. So there is this really cool riddle that actually lets you try and figure out what are the passwords, and you can really get the feel of what it's like when a model is trying to prevent you from exposing data that you don't want to exploit. Okay, so we're done with security, and we know that LLMs can also have hallucinations. So what if your users get results that don't actually exist? So the third risk is hallucinations. You can get imaginary answers, like, for example, citations of things that don't actually exist. What can you do about it? So there's currently no way to prevent hallucinations with any large language model. You need to either be okay with random errors, no matter what they are, or you'll need to double check all of your AI's output every time. So you could create a second stage automated error checker. But no matter how you implement it, some errors will always get through, leaving you with the choice of either accepting the errors or just reviewing everything. So only use a generative AI to automate low-risk tasks. On top of everything, the data of GPT is only updated up to September 2021. So what happens if the users need data that doesn't exist since it's relatively new? So our third risk is stale data. And this is because the model is just trained on data that was known before the training, which was September 2021. So what can you do about it? You just need to combine that information with information that is free on the web in order to get results that are actually time sensitive. So ChatGPT Plus has a plugin for browsing the web. Great, so now you know what are the risks and how to mitigate them. So you can go back to your home, to your family. The hackathon is over, and now your kids want you to tell them a bedtime story. So you ask your kids, who do they want the bedtime story to be based on? So who are the main characters? Specify how long you want the story to be, and voila, you have a bedtime story about a unicorn who's riding the rainbow and teaches the kids a lesson about willpower and friendships. So what will the future hold? I think everything is obviously going to be faster and cheaper. We're going to see a lot of new startups doing that. So if you ask Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, he'll say that it's going to be a much faster rate of change. Okay, so now, is it just me, or does he really look like Richard, the CEO of Pied Piper from Silicon Valley? Okay, now we're going to go to the pop quiz. Remember this slide? So which of these women is real and which one is fake? Try to get a good look at them. And remember the tip that I gave you. How do you tell a real image from a fake image? Here's a clue. You see the hands? Okay. By the way, this image was taken by the first AI photographer. See, the fingers are all wrong. So who is this woman? She is completely real. Her name is Mira Murati, and she's the CTO of OpenAI, and she's only 35 years old. So to summarize, we've seen how, in order to bring innovation into your company in the form of AI, a hackathon could be a really cool starting point. We learned to be conscious to biases, and we learned the difference between real images from fake images. And we talked about some of the risks that we can mitigate while taking the AI products to production. So set the limits, keep your secrets, and beware of stale data issues. We learned about some of the cool tools out there to help you write code faster, like Copilot, and we've learned about the history of GPT. I hope you liked things that LLMs can teach you about LLMs. So AI is limited only by our own creativity and imagination. So remember that. And as Andrew Ng said, artificial intelligence is the new electricity, and large language models are the sparks igniting a future of boundless innovation. So thank you so much for listening, and feel free connecting with me. Bye.